Alright, so this is my project, Mechanical Peg and Rig by Hayden Wallace. That's my project description, that's my project plan, environmental concerns, system power, scan time, network protocol. Next is my parts list. Right there's part list, power supply, input devices right there. Then I have my output devices, processing unit, communication, all that. And I got the signal, amp, emitter, draw, part number, company, specifications. Next is my bills of materials. That's my picture, part number, part quantity, price each, price total, and supply link. And this is all the stuff I use for my project and how much it costs. And you can see right there is the total part cost sitting at $12,655.90. Next is my materials list. That's picture, material, item number, quantity, color, measurement specs. And this is all the stuff like the materials I used on my project. Next will be my inputs. This is my input instruction mapping. All of the address, input, commas, type, device, location, factory tog tag. This is all my inputs and stuff. Next will be my outputs, my output instruction mapping. Then again, you have address, output, comment, type, device, location, factory talk, tag. Those are all my outputs. Next is my timers and counters IO map. You can see my watchdog timers right there. And then my normal timers. And then my counters right there. Next will be my AutoCAD drawings. As right there is my power supply. And then my safety devices right there. Next, I have my physical inputs. Then I have my photo eyes, which for there. Then I have detects and returns. Then I have my solenoid outputs. And then my conveyors. And then my output lights, which you can see is the emergency stop, full, running, and stoplight. Next is my analog sensor, which is my analog gauge head essentially. And those are all the wirings for the diagram. Next will be my program. This is my main routine right here. All this stuff runs the conveyors and lights and everything in the machine to get it to do what it's got to do. As you can see, there's a ton of timers. Some of my counters right there. Then I got my jump to different subroutines right there. Next is my alarm subroutine, and this is all my alarms for my HMI. Next is my diameter set points. Determines like the set points for the analog gauge head. Next is my flip-flop. And then the next is the scaling parameters for the analog gauge head, which lets it know if it got passed. Now is like the video and how it runs. As you can see, the e-stop is flashing, so I reset it. So the e-stop is no longer doing that, and the coils are energized. As you can see, I have the metal pegs and plastic rings loaded up. shoots it down the chute, reject solenoid, and you can see the rotary solenoid puts the product together, and the analog gauge head will stop it and determine the length or the diameter. And that one got rejected. This next one gets passed. Again, that one gets accepted because it had the perfect diameter. That one also gets passed. Now I load up a couple more on the belt or the chain conveyor. As you can see, that product did not get completed, so the reject solenoid will automatically reject that since it is not a plastic ring and a metal peg on each other. And you can see 5 of them got accepted, so the full light comes on. You can see, and now I'm going to reset it by holding the stop push button down for 5 seconds here. And as you can see, it goes off, and you can restart it now and restart your process. And there I am loading up the chain conveyor again with the plastic rings and metal pegs. The sort solenoid sometimes does not get them all the way down the chute, which was a problem I had. That one will get rejected by the reject solenoid. Analog also gets rejected there. That one gets accepted. That one also gets accepted from the analog gauge head. That one also gets accepted from the analog gauge head, as well as that one does. And that one does too. And you can see the full light comes back on. Next is my HMI screen. So now you can see the different type of logins I use. The first login is janitor, first user I should say. The password is also janitor. And let me retry that again. Username janitor, password janitor. There we go. Now you can see on the top left corner, it says I'm logged in as janitor, and the janitor has absolutely no functions besides viewing the screen, so he cannot do anything. Next user will be employee. Username employee, password also employee. And this user has some functions available. For example, you can go into alarm history and trends, but when you try to go to set points, it does not have access to that screen. My next user will be the final one, and that is manager. Username manager, password manager as well. Now the manager has full access to the HMI. He can do whatever he wants. He can go to trends, alarm history, set points. He can change the set points from there. Now hit the start button and the process has started. As you can see from the running light, and you can see where you can see the process will be able to be seen through the accepted, rejected, and total right there. As you can see, 1 just got rejected, and the total also moves up to 1 there. Then 1 gets accepted, and the total moves up to 2 there. Another 1 gets accepted, and the total moves up to 3 total now. Another 1 gets accepted and moves up to total 4, and then I hit the stop push button, and the stop light comes on. Now I hit the start button, push button again, and the running light comes back on, as you can see. And 5 total get accepted, which means the full accepted tray has reached its limit. The full light comes on and the alarm pops up. Now, in order to reset this, you have to push and hold down the reset push button on the HMI for 5 seconds. And you can tell when it gets done by the full light turning off and those all reset. And you can see that the e-stop light comes on when the e-stop light is pressed and it starts flashing, as well as the stop light is also on. That's how you would know the e-stop light is on in your HMI. There's my alarm page, my trends page, which you can see the high set point right there and the low set point. Now we're just waiting for the chain conveyor and belt conveyor alarm thing, because it will automatically shut off if no, like right there, that the conveyor stopped right there, because there was no metal or plastic pegs going between the solenoids. Now here's my set points, and I can change them from here. For example, I'm changing this one to 1.17 for the low set point, and it'll change right there. Now I'm changing the high set point to, changing the high set point to 1.22. And you can see that one will change as well right there. And then when we go back into the main, they are changed. Now you can see the date right there. And now in order to get this out, you will just log out and click shutdown. And that'll be the end of it, of the HMI. Next is my owner's manual, Project Mechanical Peg and Rig by Hayden Wallace. You got step 1 right there, step 2 right there, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, step 7, step 8, step 9, which is the final step for that one. The next is the step-by-step instructions on how to run the machine from the HMI. There's step 1, and then there are 3 different users, like I've said, which you have manager, employee, and janitor. Step 2, step 3 there, step 4, step 5, step 6, step 7, step 8, step 9, step 10, and then the alarms. There are 3 different alarms. You have the chain conveyor alarm right there, the belt conveyor alarm, and the full alarm. And then you have step 11 and step 12. Next is my final summary on the project. There's my project goals right there. And my project description, which is a mechanical peg and ring machine, for the mechanical peg and ring machine. And that is what I did well on the project. and what I could also do better on the project. And finally, that is my overall summary of the project.